What's going on, everybody? Coming at you again with some new content. I actually got hit up on Facebook by, someone I consider my uncle, Richard. He wanted me to do a video on my top 3 favorite zombie movies. That's going to definitely be hard for me to do. It was hard. I had to do a lot of research on it to find out what my favorite scenes were, why they were so scary to me. I'm a big zombie fan. The video games, the movies, the TV shows, all that stuff. I'm one of those weirdos who have the zombie plan. When it happens, and it's gonna go down. It's gonna go down. And when it happens, I'm gonna be ready for it. So I got my top 3, and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna start my timer here real quick. I'm gonna give myself 3 minutes and 30 seconds. No, just do 3 minutes. Stick to 3 minutes. Alright. Let's see if I can get this going. And starting. So the first one I actually have is 28 Days Later. I like 28 Days Later, and I like this movie because there's an actual reason to why these people are being sick or dying, and which is actually because in the beginning of the movie, these freedom people try to rescue these monkeys that have been injected with rage. So they're not actually zombies. They're just rage-filled, kind of like rabies. And if any of their blood or spit or anything gets into your eyes, your mouth, any of that kind of stuff, you just instantly become one. And it happens quick. But my favorite scene is when the main character, his name is Jim, he wakes up, and it's all based in London. He wakes up in a hospital, and he's walking around the streets of London, and nobody's around, no cars, buses and stuff are flipped, and he's walking around, he finds his way into a cathedral, and he's on the upper deck of the cathedral, and he's looking down, he can see there's like a camp, or maybe like a rescue site, or a lockdown site in this church, and there's just a bunch of dead people, and he's bummed out, and real quietly he just looks down there and he says hello, and like 3 or 4 heads turn real quick, and they're like that, and they got red face and bloodshot eyes, and they're just rage, just horrible. So they start taking off, and this he calls him Father, not the Pope. What is he? Whatever the father is, he comes in, and he's wearing the robes or whatever, like a priest, I guess. And he's like, "What the hell's going on?" And he smacks him with the bags. "Oh, I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have done that. I'm sorry." And he takes off. But when he says hello, and those zombies turn and are looking at him all crazy, these piano keys play, and it's just a really great scene, really scary. It got me. So that's why that made it to one of my top 3. Second one is Dawn of the Dead, the remake. It's the very first zombie scene. It's actually a funny story. When I was in middle school, that's when this movie came out. And let's see, the alarm clock, when the very first zombie scene happens, it turns to 6:37. And that is the exact same time, around that time, that I would have to leave my house to catch the bus when I lived in Flagstaff, Arizona, in the mountains. And it was just dark as hell. And I'm a little kid, not a little kid, I'm in middle school. And I was a big middle school kid. But I had to walk from my apartments almost I'd say a half a mile to my bus stop in the dark, knowing that 6:37 has passed or is coming. So I'm scared to shit. 3 minutes have passed up, but I got one more that I want to talk about, is World War Z. World War Z, the creator of these zombies, he actually intended it to be, the way they move, the way they function, he intended it to be both looking like a swarm of ants as well as a flood of like water or something. The way that they climb the walls of Jerusalem, the way that they flow through and crash into each other. They were meant to look and act as a swarm of ants moving like a flood. So the reason World War Z and 28 Days Later are actually in the top 3 is because there's a reason behind it. They don't just wake up and there's zombies. The like Dawn of the Dead, you know that if you get bit, you die, but they don't know where it came from. One of the scenes is he's on the news reporter. He's saying, are they alive or dead? He's like, we don't know. Are they? Is it airborne? Is it what is it? We don't know. There's no information they can give. There's just zombies. Just like in Zombieland, there's just zombies. Land of the Dead, zombies. Those are all good movies, all great movies, but in 28 Days Later and World War Z, you either know that it's rage or there's an actual chemical component or a living organism that is trying to find a host. I'm talking about World War Z, trying to find a host to live in, because you can see in a couple different scenes, the zombies are actually passing by. Like, they pass up an old homeless man, they pass up a little bald kid who you can guess has like cancer or something, and he balls down on the ground, and they're just running right past him, and the main character, he's noticing that, so he actually injects himself with the virus to go into this zombie infested lab to get the serum, I guess you would call it, to get and he ends up face to face with a zombie, and it's just staring at him, and then starts to look away, and it's just, those are, if I had to make my top three, those would be my top three. Again, I'm a big zombie fan. So I'm at almost 7 minutes here. Sorry guys, I'm having a hard time keeping it under 3 minutes. Please make sure to like and subscribe to these videos. I definitely appreciate everybody on Facebook sharing these. I'm having a really fun time doing this stuff. Keep the content suggestions coming, and I'll try to do my best on it. And I just hope you guys have a good day. I hope you're enjoying my videos. I really do. I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a good one.